Dynamic pricing. One vending machine with one price. Later on, it's a different price. Later on, it's a different price. And later on, it's a different price, all from a vending machine. Who would have thought? Dynamic pricing, it's exactly the same product with different times. It depends what you're doing it. We do it on toll roads. Sometimes if you go on the toll road, you'll sit over there, you'll be stuck over here on the traditional California, the 91, and you're trapped like a rat sitting there between barricades and cars nonstop, and people are flying along because they paid $4.71 and drive in that lane. Well, actually, in the morning it was $1.10. Sometimes they have full-blown dynamic pricing, trying to draw people into the other lane and let the other one suffer because you're the one that has the one that you're spending the money to be able to fly along at 90 miles an hour in the 65-mile-an-hour zone. So dynamic pricing, retailers have it a lot of times to sit down there and get rid of excess inventory. I shared with you previously about my experience as a fabric store manager. We bring in flat fold fabric and sell for $2.98, and then the next week it'd be $1.98, the following week 98 cents, and the following week 2 yards for a dollar. That was a pretty common practice. And yes, that extent, even though it's a matter of a flat fold table with the sign in the middle of it, it's dynamic pricing, zero technology involved called change the sign and change the tickets. Really, we've been doing this for a while. Now it's just becoming more mechanized with technology in the process. It can increase your profit by 2 to 6%, or even if you're running the toll roads here in California, a lot more money in the process. It just depends on the conditions that you have when it's superior. Is there available capacity to do it? A lot of times, the smaller the production capacity compared to the demand, the larger the benefit. So if you have a small volume and you come out with a fast fashion item, boom, we have this now for 36 hours. The very first ones can pick this up for this amount of money over here. After 36 hours, you drop the price if you have any left over. And make certain that you're the one to sit down and be one of those, like one of the few people that have this latest design from this stylist. It actually works. Demand variability. I call it the now factor. I want it now. I'm an American. Yes, we are pushy. We want it. We want it now. We're not willing to wait because I want it. I need it now. Okay, so we'll do all kinds of things because of that. We have this built-in impatience into our culture. It's called the demand variability, how much you have. Seasonality of the demand pattern. Sometimes if it's in season right now, you really need to have it because of the fact you need to have it for the season. Swimwear doesn't sell very well in most places in the month of December. Swimwear sells really good in March, April, and May. You'll see really the time of during the mid-season of swimwear, you'll see swimwear being phased out in the month of June, even though you have July and August. You'll see those different aspects of the demand pattern. And sometimes it's a matter of the planning horizon, how well you map things out. Once upon a time, if you're in the design field, you purchased all your fall fashions in January, February, March, and that was it. Now, Zara led the way by planning to spend only 25% in those months, and the other 75 they would purchase later, depending upon how the market changed. And now, on top of that, you have Shein and Temu. They're actually planning things out in just 3 months and planning to have a 3-month sale and then kill that product and change to a different product and so on. Some brilliant different aspects of the planning horizons and how they're changing. Strategic consumer behavior, it talks about if a consumer is willing to delay the purchase in anticipation of price discounts. A lot of times in the holiday season, those 3 months where 40% of all retail goods are sold, October, November, December, a lot of times people wait until after the midpoint in December to buy different goods, hoping that everything gets marked down. So you have that aspect of it. You look at that aspect because timing is always a big deal. So strategic consumer behavior, weight, time, and prices that all builds fences that delays the discount time to optimize the price and the amount of inventory that are there. If you don't have much, advertise you don't have much. We've only got a few of these items left. And if you ever have a chance to buy this, because this may be the end of the closeout for this product, here is your final opportunity. It just depends how you pitch it. There's a lot of approaches to smart pricing that make it practical. A menu cost, much lower on the internet than an offline world, depending what it is, and then updating prices possible on a daily basis if you can do that. lower buyer search price. It really depends as to when you go shopping and if somebody is in the market for it. One of the weird things is that when you're doing shopping online, it's a different critter than if you're advertising things in people's mailboxes. If I get something on my cell phone, I'm going to sit there, look at my cell phone, and I'm going to go click, click, click. If I don't like it, I go delete, delete, delete. When I go to the mailbox, I'm required to open up the mailbox, pick up the ads. I'm required to look at them. I actually look at the printed ads coming out of my mailbox for a longer period of time than my electronic ads. Yes, I may throw them away, but no matter what happens on my phone, I get to look at it and I can delete it in a matter of a second or 2 seconds. When I'm picking up a printed piece of material, it takes me at least 7 seconds because I have to be able to find it, look at it. If it's an envelope that's mysterious enough that I open the envelope, I've now spent maybe 15 to 30 seconds in the process, and I might spend a minute looking at what one advertiser says versus seconds, 2 seconds on something electronically. Pay attention to the different methodologies to advertise your product and for your price search. It just depends on the visibility that you have and also that customer segmentation, because remember, airlines have typically 6 different boarding groups, and you better believe there's at least 6 different price points on every single plane that has that many boarding groups, and you'll have a whole series of different variations in between. And really, the internet is a really good place to test different pricing strategies in real time. When I first saw one of these machines, I was almost livid. We were living in the desert at the time over in Coachella Valley. And so we had the Coke machine put on campus, and the price changed throughout the day. So it depends upon the temperature. In the desert, it actually is a desert. And when it hit 112 degrees, the price went up and the desperation went up, and people were more willing to pay the money to get a ice cold Coke in the process than they were when it was 80 degrees out. It all depends. And I was kind of angry and livid. How dare they? It's the same product. How dare they change it? But it's called dynamic pricing. That's what it is. And it worked. Amazon tried it. They tried it on all kinds of different aspects. That Coke machine actually worked all the time. They made an awful lot of money in the process, in the aspect of hoping the temperature would go up to raise the prices on the product in the process. Their electricity bill went higher, except it was on my campus and I paid for the electricity bill. Didn't seem to work very well for us, but it worked well for them. So online price line is a big thing. Hotwire, an outlet, and last minute unsold seats in hotels. You too. I saved $100 because of the fact that I bought this room over here through a price line, and you had to pay $100 more. And on top of it, yes, that actually is true. It works out there. And it was a secret for a long time because we've always had those kind of discounts. Priceline just advertise them. We call them opaque fairs because you had to sit down there and look through the looking glass, the darkness in the background, and the price was back there all along. Dynamic pricing, changeable depending upon buyer desperation. It just depends how much you want it. If you want it, we'll provide it at a price and we'll make a lot of money out of you. And we're not going to apologize to it all because we like your money in our pocket. So dynamic pricing, capacity, demand variability, seasonality, that now factor, and customer segmentation. It's all about trying to maximize your profit with the products that you have. Take care.